Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. As always, want to invite you to join us on Patreon. Exclusives going up there every week. We want to thank everybody for their support. We couldn't do it without you guys, and we want to just get you up to date on a few different news items that some may find interesting as we watch all the revelations happen on planet Earth. As certainly we're being watched by many different beings at this point in time. Chicago area judge rules ICE agents can be arrested at courthouses if they don't obey his ruling. Yes, so if you missed that, Chicago area judge has ruled that Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE officers, can be arrested at Cook County courthouses if they violate his orders and arrest a migrant without a warrant. This is U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Cummings. So, when you look at this, okay, so let's say they do arrest ICE agents. Then what? I mean, are they going to send in the military to free them? This is obviously, it's part of that ratcheting up of tensions within the U.S. Texas finds thousands of illegal immigrants registered to vote on state voter rolls. Secretary of State Jane Nelson says 2,724 potential non-citizens were flagged through federal database cross-check. If you can't see the writing on the wall, here you go. It's, again, that breakup of the United States. What's it going to look like? Will it be followed, or will it coincide with a Red Dawn invasion? This is stuff that it's been part of the script for a long time. Yet every day that doesn't happen, it feels like maybe we're nudging that script off a cliff, because people are waking up to the fact that, again, the system has never been there for us, whether it's on the left or on the right. None of it. It's still the same bird, so to speak. And we need absolute, complete new change, new ideas. No more, communism, socialism, but I'm not pro-democracy either, because that just means mob rules. How about no central government? Break it down into smaller units of division and work towards unity, because that's the ultimate goal, is unity. It's through division that they maintain their facade and also maintain their power base.
I agree.
Families in Richmond, British Columbia, being told their homes no longer belong to them. A court ruling on unceded territory could erase property ownership. Now, this is an interesting topic, as what this is getting into is, again, you have the situation where countries have been established by pushing out the people that were there first, assimilating some of them. The vast majority were either wiped out or they were squished into little reservations. And then, you'll have, and we saw this in Africa too, you have the European colonizers that come in, colonize. Now all of a sudden, 5 generations, 6 generations later in some instances, it's like you're looking at it and saying, we have to rectify this. They've talked about rectifying slavery and what happened to the slaves here in North America, but we're all economic slaves to the system in the first place. It might look like we have the illusion of freedom, but, you don't pay your taxes. You don't pay your taxes on your house. They'll take your house away. If you could afford a house, and it's never really yours, they could always seize it by eminent domain. Well, again, here you have a lot of people that think that they own their homes, and now, they're being told, well, yeah, it might not be yours. So, and a lot of it is, guess what? It's farm, it's country properties, and so the owner status could change. This type of thing is happening not just in Canada. It's happening in many different places. We've seen pipelines go right through sacred holy areas for different Native American tribes. And also, we've had so many people uprooted, in the name of progress, to build a highway, that type of thing. Again, we've even gotten record floods from hurricanes that made landfall like 500 miles away in areas that never saw flooding, like we saw, again, western North Carolina. Great homesteading area, too. And what do we find out? We find out that there's certain rare earth minerals in that area. How about Hawaii? Again, Oprah just bought up so much more land. This good old boy system is all about, just basically greasing the palms of those who will go along with the system. Somebody said yesterday when we were talking about one-hit wonders, they said, a one-hit wonder is a band that hits it big and then they don't sign the dotted contract with the Illuminati to basically sell their souls. And so that's it. They'll never have another hit again. It's so true. It really, really is true. It's all being exposed.
And that's a good thing. This is very good.
It is. Trump to buy tiny 1 million barrels for SPR as China unleashes record oil stockpiling spree. So, yeah, China's been ready. The reality is, again, the system that we have that has utilized the United States as the military and police force of the system, which it utilized Great Britain, England before that, which it utilized the Roman Empire before that. Its plans were to just shift this power structure over to China. China has the most control system in place. And so, again, what happened with the borders being open? What happened with, just a deterioration of everything inside the U.S.? It was completely planned and organized to bring down the U.S. in order to, again, overcome the issue of the fact that the population of the U.S. is armed at a rate of over 1 gun per person. It's like 1.25 guns per person or more. So very hard to overcome that, and especially when people won't easily go along with things like paying a carbon emissions tax for the UN now on top of everything else that has happened. So the simple solution is to basically bring the U.S. to its knees and shift the power structure over to China. Again, if China and their allies won World War III and we found ourselves occupied, that would kind of solve all the problems of the few and the way they want to go with things, because you'd be forced at the end of a gun. Stockpiling oil before you go into a world war, it's just an obvious thing to do. What did the Biden regime do? They used our stockpiles. Again, Ukraine is basically, it's been wiping out the ammo. Meanwhile, you have other nations that are not constrained like we are here in the United States with bureaucratic red tape, and also they don't even have the same level of corruption. All the governments of the world are very, very corrupt. But in the U.S., again, we're spending $1,000 on a hammer and $100 on a nail. Really, it's just ridiculous, the profit margins of the military-industrial complex. And again, the nonstop wars, they feed loosh to a type of being that literally lives off of that energy. And that's what they've been doing. That's why we've never had a time period without war. So again, when you quote Matthew 24, wars and rumors of wars, that's the last 6,000 years. Newsflash. It's been that way the entire time. So waking up to that fact and then seeing over here, within a few hours apart, Hungary's largest oil facility and one of Romania's largest oil refineries went up in flames. Think it could be terrorism by any chance? Do you think it could be all preordained? It's just part of the script, guys.
Yep, it's all highly possible.
Oh, and then Elon, look at this. Just amazing technology with a rail system that could take you across the Atlantic, not even in hours, perhaps even in minutes. A $20 billion project to take you from New York to London in under an hour. That's insane. Could it be done? it's been in place forever. Again, the deep underground military bases, those aren't just, rumors and fallacies based on nothing. The tube systems, you've had so much disclosure at this point in time. Yeah, the technology that they have, it's not just decades ahead, it's thousands of years, if not more, ahead of what we have seen and been allowed to know.
I think it's kind of pretty awesome, and you're right, it'll probably be out in a couple years.
It's going to be shocking for many people, but when you realize things like, the plague of Lyme disease, officials at Connecticut University sounded the alarm about avoiding the tick-borne illnesses. Well, it would have been a good idea to shut down Plum Island before it ever went online, because this is where Lyme disease comes from, in my opinion, and many others. It was a top-level, level 5 bio-warfare research facility, happened to be right across from Lyme, Connecticut. That's Lyme and Lyme disease. University of Connecticut, right shown here. So they've detected a big upsurge. There's actually been a huge upsurge since 2022. I mean, I know I've had Lyme disease multiple times. You don't really ever get rid of it. You have to boost your immune system for it to go dormant. And there's all sorts of co-infections. So, what do you do with it? Well, I worked and I'm just sharing my experience, I worked in a pharmacy. From 99 till 2003 or 2004. I was working in a pharmacy. Good people, nice people. But at the same time, it was one of my biggest eye-openers. Because, again, having talks with the pharmacists that wouldn't use the things that they were prescribing on a regular basis, when I would ask them, would you do this? No, I don't think I would, no. But this is what you're doing on a daily basis, is writing scripts for these things. But you yourself would not do it for you or your family member. Again, this is part of the reality that we are waking up to. Well, that place that I worked for, we always had a lot of Lyme's patients on our register. And I would see that they usually didn't get better when they were going the heavy-duty antibiotic route. So I went a different route. I found a local doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, also did acupuncture, moxibustion, also was a nutritionist, and again, was a naturopath. So we just attacked it holistically, and I actually got to where I was feeling better than ever. These are the reported cases of Lyme disease. Again, it is really, it almost boggles the mind why test, because you have so many false negatives and false positives that it's barely even, it just makes you wonder why. But at the same time, be rest assured that yes, it is becoming very, very entrenched and endemic. It is, it's also spreading out beyond the Northeast, and as you can see here, up through the central northern tier as well. Boost your immune system. Absolutely. There's so many things you can do to fight these parasitic infections.
And we talk about them all the time. We've done lots of videos, and we'll do more.
Yeah, and there's tons of great naturopathic doctors and medical doctors too that have opened up their eyes and their mind to treating things, with alternatives to allopathic medicine. Meanwhile, bug expert terrified to see mosquitoes on Iceland for the first time in history. The last fortress has fallen. They want to blame this on climate change, but I would say, just like with the ticks, there have been cases of people seeing and reporting that a helicopter or a low-flying plane had gone by, and then you have a whole outbreak of these insects in your area. I do think, again, it literally is something that could be spread through the air, even brought to different places. There's mosquito factories in many cities around the world. Why in the world would you make mosquitoes? Well, don't you want more profits? Because that's the name of the game in this world. It's all about profits. Meanwhile, 2 common heart medications been recalled nationwide. And this is carvedilol tablets and different form of carvedilol tablets there. These are the different lots. I will give it to you guys again. I would just say that you could definitely try some amino acids. There are arginine and citrulline paired together with a 2-to-1 ratio can lower your blood pressure. We know this firsthand because this is what we have done.
It's what we do, and we're not doctors, but we like to tackle things naturally. So another thing too is beets. Beets can help lower blood pressure. So if you don't like the taste of beets, you can get the pill form.
Yes, and exercise and getting out in nature and unplugging. We do exercise pretty much every single day, pretty much without fail. If it's a light day, it might just be a 1.5 mile, 2-mile walk and maybe some Qigong. But other days, we literally exercise for 1 to 2 hours because we value our health. And, again, everybody has these choices to make. A lot of people in this world just prefer to, take something instead of really working on what the root cause is, what the root problem is. Sedentary lifestyle is not a good thing. You're made for movement. There is a tropical storm named Melissa that can be threatening to the Caribbean at this point, and then perhaps we'll have to keep an eye on it past that. But it is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane just basically south of Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic area. So definitely we'll keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, all across the globe, you got crazy, wild flooding. This is over in Ireland. It's everywhere you look. How about this? This is a woman in New Zealand going to walk across, and all of a sudden she gets hit with a gust of wind that literally sends her flying. No, I don't think she had too many at happy hour. Literally, the wind was just that strong. Thankfully, she didn't get hit by anybody. What do you make of this? Is this a little AI? Boy, does that look like a holographic representation of our universe, being projected from a 2D flat reality.
I think it's really pretty. I've seen those designs and other photos, and just a little bit different sizes. So I think they're beautiful. They remind me of little angels.
Yeah, again, we are living in a holographic universe. We are having a temporary human experience because we are consciousness itself, which again can't be created or destroyed. It can only basically change forms and certainly adopt new vehicles to experience new realities. Whoa! Holy crap, that dog is ugly. What the heck? No wonder he's barking at him. Oh, it's so fun what people do with AI nowadays, or maybe even a simple mask in this case. It could even be, I think it's a little AI there. How about this? That's a little cuter, isn't it? Yeah, that's a nicer way to end your day here.
Oh, he's a cutie. Just begging for somebody to take him home. Pick me, pick me.
Absolutely. I would call him Groucho. He's a cutie. He's got that mustache, but then so do I, kind of.
Yeah, you do. You match.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, at least I'm not nicknamed Groucho, but maybe somebody has nicknamed me Groucho. Could be.
It's possible.
Oh, by the way, guys, it just feels awful quiet out there. It's upticking a little bit. It was around 150, 160 quakes in the last 24 hours. At the moment, the strongest quake is a 5.2, a couple 5.1s, and a 5.0. Just be on the lookout. This last one over here is down in that South Sandwich Islands area, 5.2. Could be something big building. There's a little one over here in New Jersey again. It feels like there's something building. It just feels too quiet today for some reason.
It feels eerily quiet, like some portal. There's something going on.
Yeah, there's something up. I kind of got the feeling we'll probably be back later talking about something that pops.
Very soon, probably.
As always, much love. Thanks for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.